coming soon, better splurge. I took the telling you heard. I beat the separate word. I beat the best of atrocious. I'm here to settle the word. I'm here to better the earth. I'm making new out of ocean. Devils in tune in this moment.
Roll up, singing out death hymn, bitch. Looking at the mirror like death hymn. Ayy, chilling with the reapers, that's death kin. Yeah, ice all over, I'm flexing. Call me Ovechkin. All of my step kids. Eat something like God, I'ma step in. Ayy, walking my talk, I'm stepping. Yeah, got him in shock how I step it. Soon as I stepped in.
Hey, soon as I stepped in this part of the country, I started to part bloody burgundy seas. Who could contest against death? I predicted recess in my heart and I kept the receipts. Life is a landfill with lanterns of manners we grew accustomed to, so we had some standards. But what goes up must come down, it's my crown to show you how to land on your feet.
It's going down, we up. I'm calling it magic, they calling it luck. They gave someone else the crown, but I'm still the king without it. How can you doubt it? You was a square, that's why you can't get round it. Zay and Scheme, you know that we bout it. What the game been missing, I found it. Your life in my hourglass ticking, I'm counting.
Part of these stands, yeah, I call it candy, cause candy with counsel so sweet until you losing teeth. And your man, them don't understand, so you the shit dangling feet. I live my life on the edge, fuck what was done and was said. I recite truth throughout life, fuck would I ever be scared of the motherfucking dead.
I'm on the edge, don't push me. Yeah, Ebo boy Ian push me. Ayy, wondering what life took me. How it led me to you, it's your B-day. Strip you down in your suit. I don't need guns or a bullet to shoot. I just say the word, all that falls is doom. When you see me, it's the end. Just know that your death coming soon. Goodbye, bitch.
Death coming soon, better splurge. I took the telling you heard. I beat the separate word. I beat the best of atrocious. I'm here to settle the word. I'm here to better the earth. I'm making new out of ocean.
Yeah, rolling up, singing out death hymn, bitch. Looking at the mirror like death hymn. Ayy, chilling with the reapers, that's death kin. Yeah, ice all over, I'm flexing. Call me Ovechkin. All of my step kids, bitch. Something like God, I'ma step in. Ayy, walking my talk, I'm stepping. Caught him in shock, I stepped in. Soon as I stepped in.
Soon as I stepped in this bitch, I get treated with smiles like presidents. If you are seeking the trial, my presence is costing about the same weight as your prejudice, huh? I always spawn this just settle shit. You know my way, I happen to find elegance, huh? Relish it, my embellishments are embedded in what we call sedatives, huh? I just been looking around, look for the talk of the town. Hey, hey, I've been putting it down. How can I lose who was found? Hey, hey, never been stranger to source. I got some knowledge of season, shaking this shit I can't breathe. Without a bitch on the coming, cause me.
Tell that bitch she won't succeed, cause she don't succeed. I called her a B, then gave her the D. She know I'm a G, they wanna be me. They copy my whole flow, style out of the D. Really live it, watch me kill it. Man up physics, break it, limits. Say you did, but really you didn't. Death on my mind, I'm minding my business.
6 cents, I've been at it like Mike Jack. Sick of the swim, do you need a life jack? I'm like a life hack, I want a light side to get in the building. If you don't like it, listen how you feeling. It ain't my point to care much about appealing. I am more focused on walking my talk. Fuck what I care if you don't wanna listen. I make music with chairs out of an intervention. Like, is this a roast or the fuck with the script? I get it, you don't know too much about the kids. Sit back and watch how I hustle my shit. I'm too big in the south, but I'm big in my crib. Love to my family and love to the fifth. A plug for love or a dove or a kid. I'm only gon' dish what I'm willing to get.
Just said a prayer for all of my enemies. Cause see the value in things that give them security is all in jeopardy. I took on training in yin yang. I just been balancing energy. I know that you gon' remember me. All that I taught you is stored in your memory. Watching the matrix break. My mind used to be a prison. I done made a great escape. I found relief and release and peace, and that been my saving grace. Now I've been playing for keeps. They keep trying to change the pace. It's only one me, it's only one you. Nobody could take your place. Watching social media become the norm in the media. Got you moving like a clown now, you a local comedian. Hardly doing what you like, you only one likes, you hoping they seeing it. Lying in hopes they believe in it, all in your stories, you know that it's corny, but you get the validation from attention. You got options, DM popping, but when it come to real, I'm who you mention. When another plan, they went offensive, they don't understand, so they defensive. I think they need to go open their chakras, I think they need to go focus their senses, hoping you meant it, cause you'll never get that me again. I'm just the type of force that you won't see again. Think you be better off, go ahead be it then. I gave you blind faith, wasn't seeing it. I was in flow state, you ain't see them in. Know your role fake and you don't want to see me when I gave the truth to you when you seen it. And shouldn't be news to you, this ain't seeing it. Man in the mirror is who I'm competing with. Succeeding and focus on self now, Leo, so you know I'm coming with fire. Just watching haters have a meltdown. Come to the fame, they let it be sire. So they soul is on sale now. Is Flo retired or is he just quiet? They can hardly even tell now.
You know, this was a game. And it was me versus you. I'll be the motherfucking winner. Mortal Kombat style and shit. Listen. Spitting only facts, that's all I know. The city on my back, that's all I know. I can give a fuck about what they say. We about to make a killing, we the motherfucking winners.
They don't hear me though.
The motherfucking winners.
You don't fucking scare me, bro.
The motherfucking winners.
And this ain't no game, but even if it was, we ain't playing. All I am, all is my soul. Got enough of this money, but I think I'm okay. I'm defeated, got no else on my zone. Made it all on my own, made it all on my own. Ayy, my rent paid, my niggas eating. I'm self-made, living out what niggas dreaming. I had a bunch of goals and then I made it happen. Niggas talking shit, but my niggas get to clapping. They love to help you spend your dough, never help you make it though. Love when I was down, bet they salty when I make it, yo. They gon' love me when I get my deal, cause I had it and I made it real.
Spitting only facts, that's all I know. The city on my back, that's all I know. I can give a fuck about what they say. We about to make a killing, we the motherfucking winners.
They don't hear
motherfucking winners.
You don't fucking scare me, bro.
The motherfucking winners.
And this here ain't no game, but even if it was, we ain't playing. Bitch, we the fucking winners.
We the fucking winners, but sometimes I took some losses. Sometimes I get sick. Sometimes my shot don't fall in. Don't know what to call it, but I'm steady saucing. Yeah, my niggas all in, ballin' like a Spartan. Bring it back to the land, though. Yeah, I feel like Michael Jackson when I jam, no. Catching cases, they get some trophy pieces. This is for creators working on a daily basis. Fuck up a show in a circle. This the win circle. Word around town. Punchlines leave you black and purple. If the one a non-verbal, trust me, it ain't no work. That's only facts. Only facts. I told you I'm the one for tracks. I'm the one if you ever want a plaque. That's a fact. Spitting only facts, that's something I know. City on my back, that's I know. I can give a fuck about what they say. Trying to make it killing, we the motherfucking winners. Hey.
Welcome to your new moon in Aries ceremony. Pardon the minor lag, the minor interference. They can't stop this, whoever they is, whatever they is. Anyway, welcome. We are here. We are activating officially this next era. All right. I have a whole new video series in the tuck. I have several new video series in the tuck. If you guys remember that Secret Life video I made for Pluto Scorpio and the Pluto generations, bringing all that back. And then I'm working on a new series called Baby Forecast Reports. So depending on what season you conceive, we're going to talk about the astrology of the children who are going to be born 9 months later. And I did the first episode yesterday. I recorded it 8K on my phone. It's a big file. Probably shouldn't do that next time. So this might take me a while to render, but outside all of the lags and stuff, we keeping it pushing, baby. As you can see, all this fire in Aries. All right. Earlier here at 27 Deegs Aries. So it's safe to say it's all systems go. Ho. Yep, there we go. 27 degrees. Let me look real quick. Are we going to have, is it going to enter Aries before the moon enters Gemini? It looks like we might have a 29 degree jamboree. Yeah, so we're gonna have 29, and then we're gonna go into Gemini. That's very interesting. All right, so yeah, baby, based on my equal signs, that's my equal 12th natal house and equal natal 12th house. Thank you guys. Thank you, Lavender Tamagotchi. Yes, ready to go. Let's go. The way I like to look at late new moons. Am I still sick? Nah, not really. Thankfully, I wasn't really heavily sick. I just had like a minor sore throat. That cleared within a day or two, but still, still have like not a stuffy nose, but I'm generally good though. I feel great. I feel ready to go. All right. Oh yeah, still like a minor cough too. But yeah, all this in Aries, to me, unlike starting at the beginning of a sign, it's like the whole Aries season we had leading up to this. It's so funny. I saw a video by Emp Lemon yesterday about NASCAR. I didn't know he had other videos. I'm gonna check those out. But so I'm not a NASCAR. I'm not a motorsport expert at all. I don't know anything about sports like that. But what I want to use as an analogy is the 30 days that led up to this point out of Pisces season, right? Thank you. Is like all the different race cars coming onto the track, or we can use track and field. All the different athletes coming up on the track. I ran track and field in high school. I was a jumper. They called us the lazy ones because we would just be on the high jump pit while the sprinters were sprinting and the long distances were running. But like I've ran 100, I've ran a 200 before. And before you start the meet, all the racers, they get within line, they get prepared, they take their mark, the referee shoots, right? So it's an entire process. And that's why I want to use NASCAR or F1, right? All the cars showcase who they are. They have their brand on it, right? And what I thought, which I'll mention, baby forecast report, right, is that, and yeah, any anxiety you guys felt is the shift of stepping into this next era, like stepping into this activation, the weight of integrity with Saturn that carries, and the badassery to just do it anyway. All right, so it's definitely temporary, and it's going to. You could even see it as a bit of positive stress, even as it doesn't feel like. A lot of it is your own power. You're weighing your own power that maybe some of you don't even know you have, and it's coming through. Now, once again, okay, it's so interesting. Like mastering astrology helps you look at events and you understand, oh, that's why it happened. Like when you see people talk about the 2008 financial crashes, 2020 financial crashes, real astrologers know Jupiter in its fall in Capricorn. That's why consistently every time Jupiter's in the fall in Capricorn, we like falls or crashes, right? Which extends even before 2008. But it's really nice to see. So this theme of rebooting is continuing, right? I talked about Harry Potter being rebooted. I talked about Barney being rebooted. I talked about all these franchises being rebooted. And I was delighted to learn with NASCAR, the whole video was kind of covering the disastrous nature of the playoff that didn't really reward drivers who like kept consistent or you know actually had to, not like it was that simple, right? But what do you know? Coming into 2026, this reboot year, the NASCAR is rebooting their playoff format. They're going through a whole new like format, and that is a prime example of what I mean with Saturn and Aries rebooting everything, a whole new world, or a whole new cycle. All right, and this is why I call it next era activation. So once again, everything for the full moon, the first and third quarter squares was defining your character. It was activating cycles of integrity around your authenticity. And this is very important because like 6 months from now, and we bridge all this individual focus socially in Libra, Jupiter is going to be in Leo, creating a whole new society again. So people are going to be back outside like never before. And this is going to take the individuality you are over the next 6 months holding yourself accountable to maintain, and you're fully breaking through into the expression of this. So that's just a sneak peek of where we're headed with this, when all three pillars of this next era will officially be activated. All right, we still have the last pillar, Uranus in Gemini, Shire Force Watchers. They finally did the Soul Eater tie-in. All right. Soul Eater's the first mangaka series I've actually bought physically in the Japanese copy and the US copy. I found the Japanese copy online. It was the very last available on Snapchat. And I got the perfect 17 volume one for the updated one, which I don't regret. I got to read the end of the manga. That being said, what about being ghosted? Really good question, Lady G. This is not the old world where we were obsessing over twin flames that we either like had no contact with or whatnot. It's very simple now. Like, do you value being ghosted? Are you giving chances to people who are not respecting your time? Are you dealing with people who are showing you with their actions that they don't respect their time? Anyone that ghosts me, I'm out of it. I'm over it. Like, I don't need to waste time. I'm not wasting. And this is a good question, Lady G. I'm not trying to single you out. It's good you're asking this. I don't give a fuck about a mother. I'm gonna curse. I'm gonna go this last day of Aries. I don't give a fuck about anybody ghosting me today. Like, if you missed your shot at the jackpot, you may ever know. I'm not wasting any time talking about, oh, this person ghosted me. Like, bye, bitch. That's it. Period. So I wish somebody would ghost me. Like, very. I wish somebody would miss they shot at the motherfucking jackpot. All right. That being said, and like you said, rejection is definitely projection. Love that, Lady G. Leo is in a position where y'all are about to come back like never before. Leo, everyone is about to be on your dick post-July like never before. Like, they didn't try to cancel you, talk behind your back, do all sorts of shit, ridicule you, kick you while you're down. And they're all going to want to come back and really ask yourself, are you going to get the same access when you completely level up? Please remember, Cancer was in this position last year. I'm not defending Elon Musk. I'm not saying this in favor or against him either. I'm not against Elon either. I'm just saying people were saying he was finished. And then Jupiter went into his sign and he's the richest man by far again. They're saying, is he going to be a trillionaire? Leo, I need you to understand this is going to happen to you. So this summer is your summer. This summer is your summer. Period. It's a Leo season summer. Period. All right. Leo is coming back. And Leo is the central main character. So it's a big deal. It's like the flagship character of a new season series coming back to carry this whole company again. You guys went independent. They try to act brand new and act like, oh, you can't do that. You need to pay it. And now you come back with a vengeance. All right. That being said, that's still too early. It's about Aries, baby. Aries is another very prominent character. Even though Leo is going to be number 1 this year, and half of next year, the most important characters outside of Leo, which is just going to be for this year, next year, is Aquarius, Aries, and Gemini for the rest of the decade. Aquarius, the universal humanitarian collective. Aries, the individual warrior who will throw them hands and beat you up. And then Gemini, who will tell you the craziest shit to your face and behind your back. Because what do we got to hide? So that being said, guys, prepare for peak chaos. It all begins now. I know a lot of people are saying, oh, everything in the world is crazy. Everything is crazy. You have not seen crazy. I was molded in crazy. I was born in this. Every Gemini. You have not seen crazy. You have not seen how crazy Geminis be like. This is nothing you've experienced. Full card that. Throw it in the trash. Start with a blank slate. Because we are, by all sense and purposes of the word, entering into the next era. And a lot of that was the Sun-Neptune conjunction that activated the cycle. And this is the official activation of the new moon cycle into this next era. So once again, I want to use this analogy of, let's say, NASCAR. The last 14 days, you were adjusting this integrity of character to determine this is who I am. Everything over the past 2.5 years was important relative to this is who I believe I should be. This is who I believe I can be. These are my belief systems. This was a very powerful conclusion, wrapping up the previous cycle to really determine self-concept. Who do you believe? Who do you wish you want to be? Who do you believe you want to be? Now in Aries, you are committing to the integrity of that character. It's no longer who do I believe I want to be. I am taking these actions to move in this direction. And if it's not authentic, I'm not doing it. If it's not really me, I'm not doing it. The only reason why I'm doing it is because it's purely me. And one thing all Aries is the homie. One thing all Aries, I think, because Cancer is the most gaslighted sign, but correct me if I'm not, I feel like Aries, Gemini to a degree, but Aries even more than Gemini is one of those signs where other people try to tell you who to be. Other people manipulate you, and other people try to engage in shame and guilt mechanics and manipulation because you will not be who they want you to be. Almost as if your value is predicate on how much others can mold you to be who they want you to be, to fit into the box of their understanding. And I fuck with Aries because Aries is the first motherfucker to be like, suck my penis. I'm my own self. They try to do it to Aquarius, but Aquarius is just too knowledgeable. Like Aquarius is out of this world. So you fail every time. Aquarius just don't give a fuck. Aries also doesn't give a fuck. And there's this level of independence that threatens so many people because they cannot control you. So the best they can do is to try to devalue your own authenticity, as if it's not good enough, as if, oh, you're a coward. They try to flip it on you as if everything you're doing is not the true representation of courage, right? But they're going to act like, oh, because you don't fit within our traditions and how we do things, you're just scared to do it. And archetypes like Aries are the first to be like, it's the other way around. You're terrified. You're projecting. People project on you. We're going to talk about that. Just keep that in mind. This is once again not tied into. You have a lot of people trying to tell you how you feel. I want you to comment Ace, like Ace of Swords, Ace of Cups. If you deal with certain people who try to gaslight you around how you feel, right? Like someone will ask you how you feel. You say you feel good, and then they start trying to act like, oh, you're miserable. You don't feel good. Why are you lying? Almost as if they don't have the respect to trust that you are honest about how you feel. Because in order for someone to manipulate you, they have to at least wrap rhetoric around, oh, you don't feel good. That's why this, that's why that. And it's one thing if one person is lying. It's another thing if you're being completely honest. And because that may not look the way people may want it to look, now they're going to act like, oh, this is how I feel. Like, who the fuck are you to tell someone else how they feel? It's pure projection. Okay. And once again, it is very imperative moving forward that, see, everything was practice up until this point, right? And it is very, 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 very. You see Saturn? You see Saturn in Aries? You see the Reaper? You see the Reaper in Aries, right? It is very imperative that if anything is not you, if anything you are about to do and you ask yourself, is this me? If it's not you, don't do it. Damn, your son doing you like that? Then again, I think your son knows you. I think your son knows how you be mobbing in other people's YouTubes and just be telling them off. But I can't wait to subscribe to your YouTube. You should definitely start YouTube. But like, yes, that being said, right? It's very, very, very important. When you embrace your true self, which goes outside what people are comfortable with, they're going to try and flip it on you. And that's no fault of their own. It's a trauma response. They're weak. They don't hate you. They hate themselves. They're taking their hatred on themselves out on you while they're busy in denial. This is what Saturn and Neptune really unveiled through this delusional period. Not because of Pisces. Pisces just exposed it and really enabled people to be more comfortable in their own denial. Now they see you in denial because you will not parrot their beliefs, their political beliefs. People really just kind of devolved. Not everybody, but you see this kind of quality of people who just really went feral and let their frustration and anger blind them towards how weak they always were. If you guys read Modulo, it's Yuji looking at Mahito like, were you always this weak, you bitch ass nigga? Anyway, other than that, the reason why this is very important, once again, Aries season for the past 27 days were 4 integrity checks of making very clear and powerfully clear what authenticity means to you. You, not outside looking in, because when we get into Libra season, we're going to be more aware of the other. And while we're still anchoring authenticity, that's where we want to compromise with others or not. And that's where we can gain, of course, breakthrough through interpersonal relationship, where we're seeing firsthand how who we are affects others. And then you can decide whether you want to shift that or not. It is very imperative now to be as selfish as possible. Maybe you're taught it's not good to be selfish. Is a lie. That's a lie. Some people hide behind being selfless as a form of selfishness, to act like, oh, I do so much for you, I do so much for other people. It's just a way to manipulate other people. All right. That being said, there's a toxicity to being selfish in a certain way. You definitely want to be selfish. Modulo, Modulo. It's the sequel to Jujutsu Kaisen. All right. That's also finished. So that being said, right, The last 27 days of Aries season really adjusted how you define the originality of your character. If this was a fighting game, it is an unlockable version of your character in a rebooted franchise. They rebooted Mortal Kombat, I think, once or twice, right? So let's say the rebooted Mortal Kombat game, you are reimagining your original character to whoop ass, and you got to break out your move set, define your character, and through the rest of this cycle, you're going to continue to develop on this path this new character. This is one of the most exciting periods of the year. And this is the biggest period to stifle you before you get started. If I know someone is meant to be great, I'm going to try and stop them instantly before they even believe in themselves. But the biggest mistake they made was assuming that you will put other people's opinions over your love for yourself, which was a huge old world program with thought pieces and philosophies and beliefs geared to tie you down to this illusion of the original sin, that you were born some worthless sinner, that the universal forces responsible for creating the universe did not create you to be perfect in every way, that the good, the bad, and the ugly that happened in this world is not exactly perfectly defined exactly as it's meant to be. When you read a storybook, it's not all good. You have conflict, you have plot elements that reel your emotions, that have you wonder, wow, will there ever be a resolution? And you have people so stuck on how the ending of a story should be, they don't read the story for what it is. They're rebooting Mortal Kombat again. They're also doing the Street Fighter movie, right? Reimagining these characters for new audiences. So just really keep that in mind. I like to think that this universal construct is a program that before time even existed was perfectly mapped out from beginning, middle to end. Everything is perfectly done the way it has. Your brain tricks you. You perceive less than 0.01 of the electromagnetic spectrum. So the idea that any one person knows anything is laughable. It's an illusion. We're all dreaming. We're all dreaming. So the idea that universal forces and entities or essences, however you want to make sense of it, who have a full comprehension of time and space outside of the third and fourth dimensional cross sections that make up this experience or illusion of time passaging, like a book, as if they have already written everything that's meant to happen. To you, it may not look perfect. Oh, if the world is good, then how come all these bad things happen? If you study Hermeticism, there's no such thing as good or bad. It simply is law of polarity. But let me not just throw out an ism in your face. It's very hard for people to accept that everything that happens in this world to a degree is not only predetermined, but happens the way that it should. And none of that means that you should sit down and accept it the way it is. Shoot, maybe your desire to change an element is exactly what was meant to happen as written. It's not, it's really pointless to, if anything, kind of ponder about what's meant to happen or not versus being squared in and focusing on this illusion of free will you have, whether due to compatibilism or not, to maintain authenticity and play out the role you were born to play and play the hand you were dealt and make the most of what has been put on your platter versus complaining about the hand you have. A master player can win with a shitty hand. Okay. So Hermeticism in this case, any kind of ism. So that being said, the ism, but that being said, okay, you have been defining the originality of your character. This is the character we're activating now that you're going to bring. Another way to think about this is video games where you create a custom character. What does the physical appearance look like? What are the nature of it? We're going to continue to build this through Taurus and Gemini season, right? But basically, now that you've created the identity of this character, the customization of that was basically Aries season. And the late new moon is you finally pressing complete, and we're activating, moving on to the next stage. Taurus season is going to get into what's the gear of this character, what kind of weapons. But Aries defines the class as a role-playing game, which I like to think this is a live MMORPG. That being said, what class did you choose? Did you have a class change? Are you a mage now? Are you a warrior? Are you a warlock? Are you a medic? Are you a cleric? Like, are you a troubadour? Are you a bard? I'm using, of course, like old school, whatever. What alignment are you in? Through the moon and Leo, are you chaotic neutral? Are you true neutral? Are you lawful good? Are you lawful evil? These are things that you don't just think, your actions define, and will be checked through Libra season and Capricorn season. This is a very exciting year, guys. This is bringing back the likes of 1996 and 7, but on a whole nother level. This can't even be compared. Like, we have robots twerking. We have robots twerking and shooting free throws. I'm going to say this once again. We have robots twerking, fighting on the front lines in Ukraine, throwing free throws, and we have people who are dating artificially intelligent people. Now, people coming into strange relationships has happened since the dawn of time. It's nothing new. But the quality of this, yeah, Ancient Rose, I watched it. Yeah, she sent me those videos. So it's just like, you can't treat this period. Be very wary of people trying to romanticize the past and expect people to have old values in a new era. In no period of history where we entered a new era did people get by adopting the previous era's values. Wisdom is eternal, so you're going to carry forth what actually is real, but be very wary of people trying to bring you back to the old. Take, of course, what's worked from the past and with you, but we're stepping into something entirely new. So we've finished customizing this character, and I want you to see that as the cars of this NASCAR ride all filing in. All these cars are represented by brands, driven by drivers who have their own unique personalities. And now that new moon in Aries is the bing. We can use Mario Kart as an example. Bing, bing, bing. That's what this new moon is. We're off to the races. And you will be held accountable to maintain authenticity and integrity of this character, which means you will be tested for the next 2.5 years around whether you're going to let other people hoe you. I'm going to just keep it a buck. Whether you're going to let other people play you, try to twist your arm around, and try to leverage their useless respect and resources in order for you to compromise your own authenticity, in order for you to be who you're not. And Saturn has every right to test this, because without testing, you could believe you're authentic, but you've never been battle tested. So this Aries season was the beginning of this battle testing. Compromises are okay as long as you maintain said authenticity. So with that being said, once again, I need a with that being said counter. I do. But with that being, oh God. But with that in mind, all right, yeah, Pluto, Scorpios, be careful. Pluto and Sagittarius are catching bodies. They're crash outs, but Pluto and Scorpio, be very careful. That being said, see, we need the counter. This whole time was battle testing, and there will be more, but it's less important about how you're perceived and what about your legacy and whether you're winning or not versus how authentic you are. I would rather you be an authentic loser than a fake winner. And trust me when I tell you, a lot more people than would care to admit would rather be a fake winner. A lot more people around you. We're coming out of this fake it until you make it era, where most people came into success by literally faking it. and then weaving pseudo spiritual ideology to justify being a fake ass motherfucker in order to come into success. Tell me I'm lying. A lot more people than would care to admit would rather fake what they have to fake in order to win and come into luxury and come into what it takes at winning, and will justify, well, I worked hard being fake to get it with a straight face. Well, this took hard work. I had to grind every day to be this fake ass motherfucker. These are real people trying to justify being fake. I'm telling you, versus maintaining authenticity. And I don't mean in a way where you're hiding behind authenticity to justify any lack of real success. I mean the honest effort that you have taken to maintain authenticity, right? I saw part of a post with Vic Mensa, who he lost $100,000 or so deal because he maintained authenticity and he spoke about a real issue that he wanted to speak about. And it was about a certain country. I'm not going to say what. And he lost a sponsor. And the fellow Gemini, he don't give a fuck. I'm sure it hurt a little bit. I'm sure he could have used that. But it shows he would rather be authentic than fake the funk just to get a bag. Anyway, that being said, let me not judge. If you'd rather be a fake winner, I hope you enjoy your empty victory. Most people would. That being said, I would rather you maintain your own sense of authenticity in an external illusory world that will fight to make it look like you're losing just because you're staying true to who you really are. It's been the oldest playbook in the book. It's been the oldest play in the book. And in a period like this, you miss out on an eternal treasure by basically selling your soul away to something that's not you. And I mean, that's not really sage advice. It's just common sense. But it's something that you want to take more serious than ever. All right. Due to your support, due to what we've put in, I'm very comfortable with anybody calling me a con, with anyone calling me a scammer, because I know off rip it's never been true. I know off rip, if anyone had to put that on anything, if we had to bet, see, these people will say that, but they will never put money on it. These people will say that, but they will never put that on anything. If it ever comes time to prove it, I have more than receipts. And I'm using this as an analogy for you, for people who try to come at you and try to delegitimize what you're doing because there's nothing they can really attack on your character. So now they have to make shit up. All right. And a lot of people will project their insecurity because as much as they may try to give you unsolicited advice or tell you certain things, they can never replicate who you are and what you have. They have the resources, quote unquote, but they don't have the sauce. They manufacture the sauce. That is boo-boo, fake-ass generic sauce that they slapped a brand name label on, but they don't have the substance. They just dick rided the form. And that substance, you either got it or you don't. And it didn't necessarily come out of nowhere. All right. I mean, Carrie, when you call me lazy, I know you're not lying. Like, it is what it is. You're speaking to me authentically, right? I know that. This is where, like, I can be honest about certain stuff with me too, and I know where you're coming from. But it's a distinct difference between, saying something that challenges someone versus lying. You know what I mean? And with that, it definitely puts you in a position to move full speed ahead with this character, You're getting ready to pioneer. And I can't emphasize enough how important it is to not necessarily move away from that. Because you mean they got the juice, but not the sauce. Bruh, they don't got the juice or the sauce. They trash. They buns. Throw them away. Throw them away. And they want to replicate what you have, but they can't. So they're trying to flip it on you, and it's just failing miserably. I would like to bring you back to the 2 I told you so tours, but we're going to talk about that later. Very shortly, actually. So once again, you carrying this through is going to set you up more for life than ever. And that's why there's going to be more of a concerted effort while you're activating now to get you to pivot from what you're doing so that you never really fully get into it. Okay. I think what's also very significant is now that we're activating this original direction, we're quite literally just getting started. So let me use NASCAR again, right? NASCAR is this year moving forward with a new format, or maybe they're going back to an old format and a more original format, because Aries is the original, right? It's the first zodiac sign. So with that being said, we're hitting the reset button. NASCAR is just getting started on a whole new era, and use NASCAR as an analogy for you, for everything. But the thing about NASCAR is it has an entire history built by a family. It didn't just prop up out of nowhere. So yeah, it's just getting started, but it has an entire history. I think close to a century, if not more. And it just getting started. When I say we're just getting started, we're just getting started, but we're finished so many cycles to get here. All right. So yes, we're stepping forward into this reboot, and there's a militant attitude you will be radically developing moving forward in preparation for war around the world. That is, especially culture wars, that you losing yourself at this critical point, right, is going to really ruin everything before you enjoy what it is you even maintain this authenticity for. So just be mindful of that and ask yourself how committed you are towards pushing forward. The biggest mistake you can make right now is believing you need to have everything figured out. And most importantly is believing you have to know what you're doing. If you're not a Mars and Aquarius, if you don't have Aquarius placements, and even if you do, you don't need to know what you're doing. This is literally like the first season of a rebooted season series franchise. So that's like watching the first few episodes of a new season, and not just a new season of a show. It's not like the first few episodes of season 6. This is the first season 1 of a new season series. So like, how weird would you look if like 7 episodes into this first season, you're stressing yourself over not knowing what's going to happen in a season series that might have up to like 23 seasons. Like, we're literally just getting started. This activation power enables you to open up so many different possibilities, to walk in a new direction, the pilot season. Okay. So once again, the reason why that's very important is I'm not even going to say you're allowed to make mistakes, right? That's really irrelevant. It's be mindful of the fact that you are carving a whole new path. The whole point of this new moon is that you're walking into a new direction. Okay. And through Taurus season, we're going to ground this new direction and build values that start to build the value of our character. And then through Gemini season, based on those values, Taurus is going to determine whether this new unlocked character you're building, you based it on a foundation of shifting sand or actual values that will. That's the whole point of Taurus. Boom. As long as and Uranus that went through Taurus since 2018 has completely innovated the game. You saw this through Taurus individual, speakers and podcasters who showed what independent journalism and media, for better or for worse, because they were all disruptive. Uranus is very disruptive, can do, right? And that's just an example. Based on this foundation, Gemini is now going to express this character with radical ideas, new thoughts. That's the activation signature we have for this year. And it's going to be ridiculous. All this is preparing for Jupiter and Leo, where we're going to go back outside with these rebooted new characters. Not that you weren't outside before, but like it's a thing. It's a very huge theme of this year. And late January really stoked the seeds for revolution. So this is going to, through Aries, really determine what direction are you taking. Are you going to allow people who don't give a fuck about you, pretend to care about you only to the extent that you can agree with their rhetoric, tell you who you are and tell you what you should do? Or are you going to walk in original direction? Like, don't let these people get mad and call you neutral because you don't want to pick stupidity that you see on all sides. Some of you might align with one or some of them. And if that's authentic to you, you better do it. But don't let other people define your authenticity just off the strength that if you did that to them, they would not let you hear the end of it. Don't let the golden rule is saying, right? Don't treat others the way you don't want to be treated. Well, let's also look at it the other way around. Don't let other people treat you the way you know and they know they would never let you treat them. Because you see a lot more of that going on now casually than ever. And it's your fault if you allow it and you don't put your foot down. Let them leverage all sorts of meaningless stuff. They're showing you how meaningless it is to the extent with which they're willing to leverage it in order to try and basically keep you in their pocket. And then try to make you out something strange because you know your placements. Yeah, Lady G, I love that you said that. People, there's a lot of stupidity out here. You have people who don't know their chart rulers, that don't know their moon sign, that are going to look at you strange because you know your shit. That's just a different level of stupid. And I call it space illiteracy. It's a form of astro illiteracy that has plagued humanity for a long time. You literally have people who are proud to not know they shit. And I mean, we just give them that Virgo side eye stank look, keep it pushing, because it's just a form of illiteracy I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. But then again, if they are my worst enemy, maybe I should wish it on them. But that being said, yes, I used to hate it too, but then I realized that's really the consequence of greatness and knowledge and putting in time and effort to really work on something, not to let people who are not even close to your pedigree or haven't put in any of the work tell you how meaningful it is or not. That's going backwards. So that being said, whether they want to lie and say, oh, you blame everything on the stars. No, bitch, I know my chart ruler, you dum-dum. I know how these things align and how not. I have experience and receipts. But that being said, all right. The next thing I want to talk about before we really go into thank you, Ashura. That's just not my problem. So two major things. So three major messages that all tie into one. One, if it's not you, don't do it. Don't allow people to peer pressure or pressure you to do something, because no, you have to think beyond just yourself. You have to think about other than tell them to shut the fuck up. That's not me. I'm not doing it. Okay. Okay. Number 2, do not allow other people to treat you in a way that they would never allow you to treat them. And if you want to know, do what they're doing to you to them and see what happens. See what happens. See what happens. Give people unsolicited advice the way they give you unsolicited advice. Start telling them, hey, you shouldn't really work your Venus like that. You shouldn't really dare. See how quickly they whatever. And then tell them, hey, you keep doing that to me, I'm going to keep showing you how it's done. Easy work. Simple. And then I forgot the third one. I was just talking about it. But what was that third one? I got too caught up. But basically, don't necessarily allow people to undermine what it is you built value in. Regardless, you know, a lot of this is just a projection of insecurity due to your unwillingness to conform to their box of understanding. And they can claim mediocrity, they can claim whatever. They won't demonstrate it. And that's really the main thing of what I'm saying. Leave the yappers back into the old world. Because as passionate as people may talk about an issue, if there's no action behind it, that's what it was. That's what it was. That is the third thing. So the first one, right, is don't allow other people to treat you in a way you would never want to be treated. The second one is, no. The first one is, if it's not authentic to you, don't do it. The second thing is, don't allow other people to treat you the way you don't want to be treated. And the third one that I forgot, but just remembered is, do not make other people's problems your problem. Very important. Do not make other people's problem your problem. And Mr. You said something very important, like show me a scripture or something, right? That's very important. Someone can show you like a biblical scripture, but they have to demonstrate it, because people quote the Bible all day to feed their confirmation bias, forgetting that all the people who they dick ride from the Bible are people who did not quote scripture in order to make their point. These people follow Paul, Peter, Luke, John, Elijah, Elisha. All these people demonstrated, all these Old Testament prophets that these people try to act as holy as. Elijah, this is one of my favorite stories when it comes to demonstrating the power of the Lord. And that's why I say most religious people are LARPers. They they mean well, but it's like, you're reading a book about people who called on the name of God in order to get out and make miracles of so many stuff and make miracles. Elijah didn't say, oh, in this book, in this chapter here, this means it's true. Elijah, a lot of people don't know the story. Elijah was in a competition with other prophets. So I'm going to share this story, which is a good Aries season story. I'm paraphrasing it. Elijah was in a competition with other prophets, right? Hey, you call on your God, and I'm going to call on my God. And we gonna see who's the right God. Before people be like, oh, you shouldn't test God. No. Don't duck smoke. Okay. You had a group of people who were cutting themselves because they were self-mutilating themselves so that they can call on their God. Each person had a sacrifice, and they were meant to call on the God, and whoever's God brings fire down to that sacrifice wins. These people were cutting themselves. and they were self-mutilating so that they can call on their God. Do you know what Elijah said? Elijah wasn't like, oh, well, okay, well, just give them the space to do their stuff. Elijah was talking shit. Elijah was like, hey, maybe you should cut yourself more. I don't hear your God, son. Maybe you should cut yourself more. Where your God at? Where your God at? That needs to be your attitude. Where's your integrity? Where's your actions? Where's your God at? Because I don't see that motherfucker. Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Look at these motherfuckers cutting themselves. Look at these fools. That was Elijah, bro. One of the most OG prophets in the Old Testament. And nothing happened. Then his turn came. He came last. All right. First of all, if you're going to light something to fire, what happens if you pour water on it? The water makes it less combustible. You're basically ruining the chances of it getting burned. Elijah said, hey, pour a bucket of water on my shit. They're like, what? Yeah, pour a bucket of water on my shit, homie. What's up? They're like, but Elijah, how are you going to light your sacrifice on fire? Pour a bucket of water. In fact, pour another bucket of water on my stuff. And then Elijah said the word, God called fire from heaven, burn that to a crisp, and the drought cleared. It started raining. These are the people who these Christians are reading. They're reading books about people who demonstrated the power of the Spirit. They're reading New Testament chapters of people whose shadows healed people who raised the dead, cast demons out. Oh, this one needs fasting and prayer. It's too powerful. And you're listening to LARPers who don't have any authority or power. They play the part, but they don't do it. Don't let anybody quote scripture to you that's not demonstrating it real time then and there. Don't listen to anecdotal stories about, like, when someone needed a demon casted in those books, they weren't like, well, I knew somebody who actually, casted out a demon. They didn't speak in fake tongues. They did it then and there. Ask yourself why you are listening to uncredentialed people who heard a sermon or lives a certain lifestyle. And this is far from just Christianity. This is in and out of religion. You have all these people yapping who do not demonstrate what they do. That's why I practice this every month. You know how I do with the cartomancy. You know how I do with the astromancy. You know the receipts. You've seen it live many times. It doesn't stop. They pile up. And that's for every other person who is legit and does what they do in their field of what they do. They have an appearance of godliness, but that lacks any real godliness. They practice a form of godliness that's not really even godly. Okay, so be very mindful of that. It's the very quickest way to know who's who. Yeah, we just left this Neptune Pisces influencer scammer generation that kind of pulled the wool over everyone's eyes collectively, where we've seen this at a universal governmental level, whether attached to a list or whether attached to whatever. But now it's all about action, original action that will define your character moving forward. And who knows, maybe even your legacy too. It's as simple as that. Anybody giving you any advice, anyone trying to do whatever, you see where they tried to get you before is, oh, well, look at their lifestyle. If they're really about that, how come they don't live a rich lifestyle? If you're really psychic, how come you're not a billionaire, right? And you followed that advice and you listen to people who live that lifestyle and are faking every single part of that lifestyle. Like they listen to these people like idiots. Because they knew, oh, well, if I just look like I live the lifestyle, these dumbasses will believe I'm really about that. Instead of looking at people who actually have the skill and demonstrate it and don't rely or need to show you some extravagant fucking lifestyle with this luxury car or this whatever to show you that they're still about it. Okay. Shout out to Chris Strickland. So you say receipts, I say discernment. Let's go. Let's go. Okay. The kid gloves have been off. We're off to the races. Okay. And as we activate this, all you really have to do is make sure that every action you continue to build on and compound is at the very least fully authentic to you. I don't care if you lose friends. I don't care if you lose family. I don't care if you lose job opportunities. I don't care if you really lose everything, as long as you don't lose yourself. Because you lose yourself in an age that basically wants to digitize you and have you conform and be everything you're not, you're already dead. Yeah, you might be breathing and living in a physical sense. You're dead. I'm not going to even say spiritually, like you're dead, period. Okay. So really keep that in mind. Um, don't ever let this world convince you that what's within you is less valuable than everything outside of you. It will do everything in its power to try to convince you that you need everything outside of you. And my job is to remind you that there is absolutely nothing, from family to traditions, which can help bolster and align your character, but absolutely nothing that you need outside of yourself. Not even me. Period. Okay. I haven't been selling readings for like a good minute. Nobody buys this shit, really. I think on average a month, less than like 10 or 5 people buy readings like they used to. And I didn't stop doing this. I didn't be like, oh, well, I'm not making money anymore. This is barely paying. Like, if anything, I'm kind of breaking the bank every month just to keep certain of this stuff up. But I don't do it for money. I do it because I fucking do this. That's what I do. I read about the stars and the planets. And walking along this path has introduced me to something way more valuable than money and resources. You. The amount of people I've met and can talk to who have such interesting backgrounds, who are actually amazing, incredible people. Like Forest Fairy alone, how many decks have you blessed me with? Like, money cannot buy that. So I know money will come regardless. And I know what's happening as far as this might be an economical thing. I don't know how much of it is somewhat a block, because I think it is kind of weird, like literally nothing. But that being said, it's not going to stop me. I'm not necessarily about to really trip about it. I'm going to adapt to it. And I love this affirmation. It's been slower for me, but everything shows up where I need it. And all of these things work out for us in the short and long run. So don't get too busy comparing your life with others or letting other people compare your life to others. And really miss out on what you've had. Another great analogy, which I think is in the Bible, the kingdom of heaven is like a plot of land, right? Remember, the kingdom of heaven is within you. Okay. And imagine if you had some like cheap plot of land and this corporation wants to buy it out for like a measly like $500. We'll give you $1,000 for it, right? And this is you just being completely undervalued. All right. Ooh, nice. Thank you, Force Fairy. And please let me know, because I still have your Banksy deck. So let me know how to send that. And I got you. I'll send that out to you. But yeah, like, imagine there's this land that wants to be bought, right? And there's these resort lands. There's these other like heavily commercialized, like built lands that have so much money coming through in them, right? But what nobody knows is that this plot of land you have, there's actually a secret gold mine that's been untapped. There's like oil that hasn't necessarily been tapped into. Nobody knows that, right? And it's like you're selling everything you have just to maintain ownership of this. Or you're excavating all that before you sell it so that you actually, not the gold, but like the plot, just so you don't necessarily give away treasure, right? Some people would take the quick buck, buy it for get given 1,000, maybe 5,000, and then they find out that there's all this treasure in there, and now you've completely devalued what was yours. What was yours? The analogy I'm being given right now is like something your great grandparents passed down to you, and you never really understood the significance of it, and you have people trying to like eyeing that, like, I want that, and you don't give it up, and maybe they try to kill you or whatever, but you still keep your hands on it, and then you find out, oh my gosh, this is actually valued so much more. So that's going to be Taurus season, where now after Uranus radically innovating your value, you see the aftermath. You realize, oh wow, a lot of these investments that I made, right, that God knew ahead of time that I would uncover, right, that you would uncover, right, are putting you in a position to greatly capitalize everything. And I'm very, very honored for this comment right here. Thank you. This is why I do it. This is why I do what I do. Like, money cannot buy this. You feel me? And as long as I get this level of soul currency, I'm always keep doing this. They have no reason to stop doing what I do. Everyone who has ever had anything negative to say about what I do has never invested in a reading. They've never had a service. They don't even tune into what I do. They're talking from the outside looking in, which is proof of its ignorance. It's pure bias. Everyone who has ever done so or invested has had nothing but positive things to say. And you could say that's its own form of bias, but when it's enough people, like over several few hundreds, giving their own objective, positive testimonials, that really speaks for itself. All right. That being said, yes, any new music coming up? Absolutely. I don't know if you guys heard me play that Fufu track that I did before. If you haven't, I'll play it. That's the next major single I want to push coming into this year. I really feel good about it. And I'm going to get back to just making my EP series. And yeah, I have a couple new albums I want to make. So the Fufu track, I'm going to put on the Leo EP. Yeah, I'm going to put on that Leo EP. So yeah, with that being said, and Chris, yes, we do need to collab again. I'm totally open to that. I just need to get a new mic because you guys should check out our previous songs. We've never missed. We made straight bangers. I've been recording with this mic, so I need to get an actual proper studio mic again because I broke my blue mic. But yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I want to continue that series as well. I'm gonna play the Fufu track. At the end. 5-star reviews on Google. That's what I'd like to think I have to show for what I'm doing. Over 244 reviews. I can't think of any other astrologer that's 5 stars. Still, like, period. It on an official platform like this. Like, I don't know anyone who's on that level. But that being said, has stolen other people's money or has ever had PayPal disputes. Can't find one person that's happened with me. So, I just let the work speak for itself. I don't have people emailing me like, when are you going to give me my reading? Like, that shit don't happen with me. Capricorn moon, we organize this properly. It's not just about taking other people's money. It's having the integrity to give them more than what they paid for. Okay. So yes, and Forest Fairy, I still enjoy those readings to this day. It was some of the funny stuff ever. So with that being said, y'all, let's talk about the next 2 weeks ahead. We have Neptune, Mercury, Mars, Saturn, Chiron, Sun, Moon, all in Aries. Venus in the 3rd decan in Taurus, Uranus in Taurus. What's very significant here, right, is that we're activating this cycle with Chiron in Aries. So let's look at what this is going to look like next year. By this time next year, Chiron is in Taurus. Do you see how we're going to have the next Chiron Sun activation in Taurus? 30 degrees Aries. This is it, guys. So what does that mean? What does that mean? That means that this year is the very last year that we are having this Sun Chiron Aries conjunction. This is it. This is what this is all set up for. Colby, you need to. Testimonials are so important because, and you're the real deal, bro. You're the real deal. Like we already know your track record. Like you still a top selling eyes on our team. Like you need to give people the platform to share how you've affected them, because I never knew. It still wows me to this day. Please take the time to do that. It's always worth it. And you know, it really does. It is a good look. All right. So that's it. This is the last Chiron Aries. Chiron Aries is all about self-healing. Chiron Aries is about healing ego vulnerabilities, getting out of our own ego, getting our egos out of our ass. How am I feeling with my Mars there? I might have broke my dry spell the other day. Actually, it wasn't really a dry spell. It was in between like a few months. But other than that, all right. I'm not really a hoe. I don't really be doing it. Like, I don't go outside like that. So, like, that being said, the Mars activation was there. We back, baby. We are back, baby. Now I just got to get this body in shape. You know, I've been working out. Boom, up the 7. We Gucci. But, yeah, I'm actually very excited about that. Shout out to Mars and Aries, gang. I'm 8th degree Mars in Aries. We ready to go. We're ready to go. And with this new moon, there is going to be a sense that you are moving into a new direction. For those of you who have felt over the past 3 weeks that things were up in the air, that we were still deliberating, where should I go? Where should I go? Boom, all systems go. All systems go. All systems referring to Saturn and Aries, by the way. And then this whole part in Aries that originally before was in Aquarius earlier in the year, all that knowledge that we activated, we're activating. We're moving forward. We're moving forward. Cardinal Aries, we're moving forward on it. Okay. And this is very significant because once again, with Chiron at this potent 26 degree angle, this is the final stage of taking all of the healing. Healing really meaning all the ways you were triggered, and more so how you've triggered other people in maintaining this authenticity, which as Aries is the warrior, probably felt like a fight, probably felt like a battle. This is you now carrying this over the next year in the Taurus. It's going to go into Taurus July, retrograde back into Aries. And then by the time we come around next year, we're starting the Taurus, which with Chiron and Aries, you see people hurt. You see people reimagining themselves. You see the biggest identity crisis in all of these nations. And it's going to really ground and buckle up square Pluto Aquarius. Very major. I think it's going to shift a lot into more boycotting. Boycotting is not original, new, or novel to this period, but I think we're going to see a lot more of it now that a lot more people are clear on who they are. And let me be clear, especially with everyone being rage baited by politics. A lot of you may have politics that are completely different than mine. Okay. I don't consider myself neutral. I don't consider myself left or right. I kind of consider myself not conventionally radical, because radical is on the very left of the spectrum, but I'm not left and I'm not right. I'm radical in the sense where it's like, throw it all in the trash. Get rid of everything. Start from scratch, right? But that being said, I could be moderate in a way when I'm not like extremely radical. But that being said, like your politics may be completely different. And unlike other people who shame you for not having their politics, I respect your authentic view, even if that's diametrically opposite or challenging to mine. I don't know what happened with that. People got so infuriated about what's happening, they lost sight of really allowing people to express what they do. I like somebody whose political beliefs challenge mine directly and challenge me, because that's my way of demonstrating how mine's better. No, I'm joking. How we can push forward instead of just trying to demonize people, which it's not just one side doing this, right? Oh, we need to cancel this person and cut this person out. That didn't really work. That really just backfired all around. And people are just pointing fingers at each other, blinded by their own hatred. And those are going to be the first ones to get picked off and die. Personally, you didn't hear that from me. That being said, okay, what's very significant, especially now coming out of a lot of this information age where just so much misinformation is peddled from independent and, you know, official sources from all over the place, is carving through this path of individuality, bridging through the social and collective and breaking through into the collective, that is going to prepare for you to, at this peak stage with the new moon next to Chiron, not only activate new power, but you want to see Chiron as the trans-Saturnian key that adds a supernatural dynamic towards the awakening of this power. And that's what brings us to the Pluto sextile to Saturn, Neptune, Mercury, and Mars. Mars is making an exact 60-degree opening sextile to Pluto and Aquarius, which is going to really, once again, draw in this supernatural quality of a large part of this cycle and this dynamic, a supernatural quality of your own power awakening and activating. So you could also see this new moon as the activation of new power. If you want to really add like a superpower, supernatural power element to it, you're activating new power and you're going to ground the physical strength of this. So let's go into the science of this. Aries is raw power. Cancer is psychic power or emotional power, right? You have the yang of Aries and the yin of Cancer. Then you have Libra, which is social power, like activism. Then you have Capricorn, which is universal power, the power that moves the stars, okay? Or the power of a representative democracy that represents individuals. So Aries and Cancer, the two individual powers, whereas Cancer is a more non-linear emotional power through the function of feeling. Aries is raw power. It's going in raw. No condom. All right. It's raw physical power. And what does that manifest? Taurus, physical strength. There's physical output power, and then there's the physical strength, the defense that builds on the raw power. That's where we're segueing into Taurus. All right. So with that being said, this puts you in a position to now activate your awareness and subconscious understanding that will guide you through into this new direction, while your brain with Mercury, Mars that's now activating actual action, and Saturn and Neptune tying into this whole new world order and cycle being reimagined with Neptune all forward and moving forward. You're going to increasingly ground the clarity of where we're finally going. By June, we're going to start to integrate that direction. By October, we're breaking through that direction. By January, late December, January, we're capping that direction. And then we're going to do it all again next year with Saturn at a higher degree in Aries. All right, which is going to bring a higher level of testing this authenticity. Your mission, while the North Node in Pisces is unlocking everything you're meant to believe before it goes into Aquarius and convert that belief into knowledge of what communities in this humanitarian collective you subscribe to and belong with, attached to the integrity of your character, right? Puts you in a position to now maintain this course in order to preserve authenticity. So I hope I've sounded like a broken record. The whole purpose of this was to just drill in over and over the importance of not just being yourself and doing your own thing, but committing to who you have adjusted and have been revealed you are. This is the last most important part of this. Because this is a reimagination, barring in like the previous cycle of revelation towards this, you must accept who you are before anyone sees it. Let me use the Bible again, right? In the Old Testament, when you read about Gideon, I think in the book of Judges, right? God speaks to Gideon as who he is meant to be, right? When God spoke to Moses, Moses did not really have confidence in himself to think that he can lead a whole group of people. Gideon didn't necessarily have confidence in himself, and God spoke to him as the guy who already accomplished what he accomplished. In a subtle sense, it's like the law of assumption, right? Don't treat yourself or speak yourself or carry yourself as someone who is yet to accomplish what you're accomplishing. Like if I knew that you are meant to be a generational superstar that shapes everything and is a household name, I'm talking to you as that before you even believe it, right? Oh, I don't know how I'm gonna, nobody even knows my name. No, you're a fucking superstar. No, everyone knows your name. You're a household name. And like right now, if you were to say your name, people could be like, who the fuck is that? Right? But we're speaking of these matters outside of your illusion of third dimensional cross sections within the myriad of possibilities with which you carve through this time space or space time, right? There's who you are in this moment, which is a dream. And then there's who you are across the panoramic sense of your entire being, who you truly are. Okay. And it is time for you to accept. It is time for you to accept at a major level what and who you have been revealed you are before anyone else truly believes it or accepts it. Is it unique to this time? No, this is something you've been doing your whole life. But this is going to add an extra oomph to the direction you are stepping into and what you are ready to define, okay, entirely. And now let's actually look at the next 2 weeks ahead. As you can see, in a week from now, we're going to have the moon coming out of Cancer into Leo. And then in a week from then, we're going to have the full moon in Scorpio. And that's where we're going to resume for the full moon ceremony. So just like the new moon in Pisces led to the full moon in Libra, and we did the declaration of non-consent, the new moon in Aries, right, that's activating this original direction your character is moving and that's getting you off to the races, is going to break through into the transformation of the value of that character. We're activating power that's going to harvest a breakthrough of energy, of value. And then we're going to come back around and we're going to activate new value post Uranus coming out of Taurus and into Gemini. Okay. That's so hilarious. So with that being said, what we're going to examine, as we can see over the next 2 weeks, Uranus and Venus are going to step into Gemini. Jupiter is going to be 18 degrees, and we're going to have the Aries stellium squaring Jupiter, completing the 270-degree angle, Capricorn of completion. All right, this evolution of feelings being completed by your own authenticity. And then we're going to step into the second decan of Taurus. Okay, so this first week is going to subconsciously guide us along the activation of our individuality as we prepare to ground it through the promised land of Taurus. The next 3 days that are going to close out Aries is going to feature the moon in Taurus. Moon is going to go over Venus and Uranus, and you're going to come into the final mastery of unconventionally innovating the value of the activation of this new character. Mars is going to be on Saturn, Mercury is going to catch up, and we're going to wrap our mind around this system of integrity and authenticity, this whole new world, get it to program, push forward. Okay. Now, like I mentioned before, we finished 2 I Told You So tours back when the North Node was in Aries, 2023 and 2024, I believe, or 2024 and 2025, right? Or give or take any of those 2-3 years. So because you smoked the I Told You So tour, transformed the status quo, and forced now the others who basically tried to discredit you to fulfill the burden of proof, with which they failed and weren't able to. Now, because they can't prove you wrong, they're twisting in denial who's who. So here's an example. This is the traditional way that we do things. Because you won't fit in this box and do the traditional way, you're a coward. You're a coward. When in reality, these people are hiding behind old and dead traditions that they themselves are complaining isn't like at all what it used to be, which is so ironic. And they're hiding behind it because they're truly cowards. You can do what they do. They are terrified to do what you do. It takes true courage to walk your own way and path in the face of people trying to bring you back to something that never really worked, and at the very least does not work at all. Okay. So it's something to keep in mind. That's just a simple example. You're having people, because they're so terrified of the lack of leverage and control that they have over you, put yourself in a position to actively try and play you, if I can be completely honest. Okay, John, thank you. I just got your email. If you don't mind, I'm going to share it. Oh, there we go. Light breaking in to many colors. Light breaking into many colors as it, light breaking into many colors as it passes through a prism. A majestic rock formation resembling a face is idealized as a boy who takes it as his ideal of greatness, and as he grows up begins to look like it. An inventor performs a laboratory experiment. An unexpected thunderstorm. A Hindu yogi demonstrates his healing powers. A masked figure performs ritualistic acts in a mysterious play. Beautifully gowned wax figures on display. A man who had taught for a time become the embodiment of a popular ideal is made to realize that as a person he is not this ideal. A disappointed and disillusioned woman courageously faces a seemingly empty life. I love it. I'm going to post this on my YouTube community page for anyone who wants to take a deeper look at it. That was awesome. Okay. All right. I see Aries and Leo are beefing in the chat. I get it, Chris. Chris, you are a very disruptive Leo presence, and I know you just sharing your ideas and your thoughts. Let's relax. Let's not go back and forth. It's always the fire signs beefing. It's always the fire signs beefing with each other. Yes. We don't have to agree, but we can be respectful, Chris, because you be talking saucy when you show up here. When you show up here, you be doing that. You be talking all this shit. And I get you. I'm there with you. But let's be respectful. Let's be respectful because Carrie is an Aries. Carrie is an Aries. Aries isn't going to back down. Aries is going to stand her ground. Let's relax on this Aries season. Okay, shout out to Eden Cycle. Spicy and saucy time, right? This is they asked for the smoke. So I already see where this is going. Let's keep the vibes positive, guys. Positive vibes. All right, let's keep it spiritual, right? I get it. You feel me? I know you guys burn passionately. Let's just relax here, okay? All right. I know you shouldn't tell fire signs to relax, but that being said, okay. I already seen where this is going, so that's why, but it's cool. Whew. Now, that being said, okay. This puts us in a position now with the moon in Taurus. Like I was saying before, you're gonna have people try and flip it on you. Don't let them play you. Don't let them hoe you. All right. What's very significant here about this is while the moon is in Taurus, so we're activating this cycle. The moon's going to be fertile in Taurus, and I'm going to also go over this when we do the monthly peace report for Taurus. But we're going to immediately over the next few days, unconventionally and radically with Uranus, ground a whole lot of now how valuable, what we find valuable, how we start to put our steps forward towards the direction we're moving in. And then as the moon pretty much through Venus softens and polishes the steps forward in preparation for the ruler of the solar system to step into Taurus, the moon's going to go into Gemini. And now we're immediately going to carry forth this Uranian conjunction, which, fun fact, that is the very last moon conjunct Uranus in Taurus conjunction we will ever have for like 86 years. So this is huge. Uranus will never go back. It already retrograded last year. We'll never go back into Taurus. Do you feel like things are in a standstill until Uranus ingresses into Gemini? Miss Nikki, that's actually a genius question. And I think so. I wouldn't say a standstill, but it's definitely that calm before the storm energy. You know what I mean? And one, it was everything coming out of Pisces that brought us out the fog. And now we've activated this forward motion, and all this is about to converge and steamroll through Gemini. So yeah, we're re-entering peak chaos. Go back to last year, and a bit of like peak chaos is amongst us, guys. Like, I'm a Gemini. I'm already crazy. So this is going to be a breath of fresh air. If you're already crazy, right? No, F you, let's die. I understand. Yeah, if you know the meme, you know what I mean. If you're already crazy like me, this is going to be the most fun time ever because you enjoy seeing stuff just like crash and burn. You enjoy this stuff kind of going crazy. Sometimes too much chaos is bad. But if you not, I'm letting you know right now, peak chaos is amongst us. Prepare, because it's going to be in a way you've never seen before. When we had a sneak peek of it last year, we were still deboarding out of the old world. We were still departing from old traditions. Boom. Now we're on some entirely new stuff. So with that being said, the moon in Gemini is going to carry forth not only this idea and intellectual understanding, but it's going to be manifesting, or rather, it's going to be drawing forth the awareness of this natural value. Then the moon is going to go into Cancer, and with the moon in Cancer, what this is going to do is it's going to now fill in emotional depth, all right, emotional intelligence in a way, but this more intangible understanding that has you feel your worth as an extension of where you are taking this new character. It's going to go over Jupiter. That's going to get ready to go 18 degrees. Then we're going to have the first quarter square. So the seeds we're planting now will start to break through the ground as we socially integrate. Up until this point, right, we've had the moon go from Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, which is an individualized understanding that now in Leo, opposite Pluto, T square, we're getting ready to socially integrate our natural value. And that's what sets us up for the Sun square to Pluto, the checkpoint for the opposition with Jupiter we will have later in August. So kind of like what Miss Nikki was saying, because as you can see in between this point, we are going to have Venus conjunct Uranus, which is going to be huge when Venus is on that ass. This is going to be huge like that ass. And this square to Pluto is going to really begin to break the dam. This is going to be a supernatural grounded integration of supernatural energy you began to awaken January 21st, like the week of that month, late January. So now it's going to start to integrate out of your body. All right. And Taurus is going to begin to build this indomitable strength. We're going to, when the moon goes into Virgo, bring our value to the market. We're going to understand its market value. We're going to understand how to haggle, how to buy and sell, how to start to fully express how much of our worth we're building. Then we're going to have the moon in Libra that's going to balance the integration of this value socially, but most importantly, also grand air trine and oppose all this authenticity in Aries, taking the original direction we're heading into while we're aware of what it's worth and how we tie and integrate all that together, what patterns and habits come through. Now, what did you notice in between this? While the moon is rolling through Virgo, we do see Uranus at 29 degrees Taurus. Okay. I'm going to say it again. We are going to see Uranus come out of Taurus and enter Gemini. Very, 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 very important. Very important. Very important. Okay. All right. Okay. Trust me, this is him being nice. Okay. I promise you. Yes, yeah, don't worry. No, see, Chris is spicy, guys. He's a spicy Leo. He's a spicy Leo. He's gonna say some jar stuff. We've had our back and forth too, but I understand. Trust me, he's just spicy. It is what it is. He's saucy. He's spicy and saucy. It's cool. That being said, all right. What's very cool here, by the time Uranus goes into Gemini and immediately starts to square Venus and Uranus and Gemini and trine the sun, right? This is going to revisit a lot of how we are socially integrating these radical thoughts and what's too crazy to say, what's not crazy enough to say, basically. And then, yeah, that's effectively going to lead us into the full moon in Scorpio. We're going to go more into these Taurus season dynamics during the monthly peace report. So stay tuned for that. And outside of that, guys, that's what I got. All right. Coming into next week, we definitely got to do Mercury because Mercury moves really fast. But we will squeeze in the transit talks for Mercury in Aries, Mars in Aries, and then maybe next week we'll do Venus in Gemini. So, or the week after next. Okay. Thank you. I lost my marbles last year with Uranus and Gemini. I've literally been building myself up since July to be ready this time. And it's good. If you lost your marbles last time, you'll be more than ready this time. Something about Uranus and Gemini is that, and even outside of that, it's that type of thing where it's like you have to lose your mind completely in order to really find it. Like you'll really find your mind by losing it. And it sounds counterintuitive. And that losing your mind doesn't always look like going batshit crazy, unless you're a Gemini. Then we do that for a sport. But that being said, that's it. You will continue to build and ground on the revelation of who you truly are. Don't let anyone take that from you. You're going to have enemy forces try to ridicule you. I'm going to be honest, for standing on who you are, even though these are people who stand for literally nothing. And if they do, it's bullshit. I promise you. The good news is you will also be aligning with the coolest people you could ever meet that are not just yes men who just kind of enable everything you do. They, in a challenging and supportive level, really align with you. And that's because of the frequency you are emitting through your actions by maintaining authenticity. It's going to lead you, of course, to these people, just like we were led to each other. John, thank you very much. Much appreciated. Thank you, Chris. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is very powerful. This is very beautiful. And all you must do is just maintain the course. We're off to the races. Keep it pushing. Don't worry so much about how you're going to make it where you're going. It's more important you just get to that direction. By the time we get to like August, we'll focus more on the how, what lifestyle we build attached to this character. Taurus season is next. This is where we go through our closet rummaging, our material. We bring the material we'll later bring outside with us. And this is where you're going to start to build wealth in a way you've never built it before, because you're approaching it in a new way as a reimagined aspect of yourself, ready to fully accept yourself in ways you've never done before. All right. So it's go time. I don't have any fancy rituals or ceremonies. We're going to do the stock one we usually do, but after this, I want you to do something unique and original that represents who it is you are and where you're going. Even if that's nothing, even if that's turning on the TV or whatever, just keep in your mind and express through your actions this commitment towards the authenticity of who you are, and allow yourself the grace for it not to look perfect, right? To if you fall off, get back up again. It's more important you just walk in that direction. What the enemy will do is they'll distract you off the path a little bit. They'll distract you off even if your path is here, if you go even just like a little bit off, that's it. So just stay the course. Just keep going straight. Just keep going straight. So we're going to do a super wish. There's 120 plus people here right now. Shout out to Instagram fam. All right. It's as simple as this, really. Right. So right now, I want you to have a ticket. This ticket is your intention. What is your intention? Who are you? If you could put it in a word, what is that? What is the wish you have concerning yourself? Who are you after you've accomplished everything? You are going to set the intention to be that person now. If who you see yourself as is someone who has networked with the greatest people and you've accomplished A, B, C, and D, I want you to decide that that's who you are now, and you're going to push forward into that direction. It's that simple. Make any wish, make any intention. All right. That's your ticket. I want you to see this imaginary bouncer. He's going to let you into Club Infinity, Club Forever. All right. And DJ Peace Dealer is hosting the gig, and your intention is your ticket in. So the bouncer is like, hey, hold on. We need the cover. No. Keep your money. We need your intention. What is your intention you're committing to? Soul currency. That's it. That's it. It doesn't have to be one. It could be as much as you want. Once you do that, you're in the club. Please do that right now. Okay. So we're going to do this 2-step thing. Once again, we have like 100 plus people live right now. So have your intention, and now 100 plus people are going to set the intention that your intention rapidly activates. and immediately manifest. We're going to, over the next 3 months, shift the focus of this to instant manifestation. Instant manifestation. No distance between what you want and when it'll happen. Because some of you are still playing this mind game with yourself. Some of you are still lying to yourself like, oh, I have to see it in the 3D before it happens. And like you either want this advanced stuff or you don't. You either want to stay at a beginner level your whole life, or you're ready to sit at the big boy, big man, big woman table and come on this advanced level with me. When you say you got it, you got it. That's it. When you say you got it, you got it. You're allowing reality to catch up to you. That's it. However you feel about that is up to you. I can't really make you feel anything. This is up to you. So right now, I want you to state your intention. And now, when I count down from 5, I want you to set the intention that everyone else who you see in this club with you, their intention comes instantly true for the highest good of all. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Or 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We set the intention that everyone's wishes and intentions in Club Forever immediately comes to play right now, here and now, and so it is for the highest good of all. Boom, that's it. So your mission, when should you choose to accept, when you leave this portal of a broadcast happening in a cloud through the interweaves, when you leave this portal, okay, all you have to do is take action and think as if you already got it, because you do. Because you do. Source, trust me, bro, you got it. And now, really look at the people in your life who are trying to desperately convince you you don't got it like that. That's an up. That's an up. If they're saying you're being delusional, tell them, yeah, that's my right. I can be as delusional as I want. Any single person that, and listen, that's integrity and karma. Saturn is integrity and karma. If by maintaining this, it blocks actions from you moving forward, that's the karma for what you're doing. Me, I accept the good, the bad, and the ugly from the consequence of my decision. I don't care what that looks like. I know that what I gain in return, it trumps all that because I already got it now. I don't have to wait for it. Simple as that. Simple as that. Simple as that. So really look at the people making their jokes, back talking, double talking you. Look at the people who are supporting your intention without them even knowing what it is or not. Those are your allies. And I don't mean flattering you and paying lip service like, yeah, I believe in you. Yeah, you could do. I mean, actually taking action towards what it is. Like, there are going to be people who will tell you to your face, oh, you're delusional. Oh, I don't believe what you're doing. But their actions are actively supporting your intentions, whether they know it or not. That's actually an ally. Even if they don't believe in what you're doing, even if they have no faith, right? And then you might have people who are paying you lip service. Like, oh yeah, I believe in what you're doing, but their actions are going against what you're intending. That's an op. That's a secret op. I don't know what else to say. That's a secret op. So just keep that in mind. You guys stay blessed as always. You've had 100 plus people supercharge your intention and wish. Now move forward as if it's already so, because it is, yo. All right. I'm going to play this song that I hope to release latest August. There's a lot of projects I want to put out. I just need the budget, really. And yeah, we're going to see. You guys stay blessed as always. Peace.
shout out Dave.
You said Kedu, I say all Dima. Better than Alpha, she call me her Sigma. She my little puff, she like it rough. She want a can, we can shoot with the cut. She love the cocoa, love that I'm cocoa. Melt in her mouth is too big, that's no poco. These dudes is so-so, snitching the no-no. Lost that I caught, but don't talk to the popo. I love a bacha, she love the cha-cha. Hit it like Zaza, she call me Dada. She way too choosy, I'm way too goofy. Like it with okra, but love with the goosey. She want my meat pie, I want her cake. I take her out, then we march to our date. If I was rice and I'd be jollof. Said that I couldn't, I did, I'm a boss. She love when I pound her yams. I love her posts on the gram. She want a powerful man. I want a few $100,000. Then spend it all on the fam. They tryna hate but they fans. They don't like chin chin and silver. They probably won't understand. She love a baller, I love a cara. She is some mala, I bought her some Prada. I beg, give me cola, cause I'm such a nut. I hit the birdie with only a putt. Please do not try me, this ain't what you want. Hit from the back, but she love in the front. I fall in love with my hands on her butt. Put in that work, this is not only luck. I'd rather kill you than sue ya. She hit my stick like it's Suya. I been her soul with my ruler. This incident like Shibuya. She listen to see, love when she do me. She so bonita, she call me her cutie. If I was rice and I'd be jollof. Said that I wouldn't, I did, I'm a boss.